Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that one iconic drop top for you right next to me. What is it? It's the all-new 2024 Mustang. This particular one is a Mustang EcoBoost. But before we get into this turbocharged drop top rear-wheel drive car, let's talk about what's going on here. The Mustang is going through some changes for 2024, receiving new sheet metal and definitely receiving new technology. Now, one thing that's not going to be changed is, of course, the internal combustion engine. And you can get your Mustang 3 different ways for 2024. EcoBoost, GT, or Dark Horse. Now, with the EcoBoost, guess what? They decided to give a little bit more extra horsepower, and they're trying to keep the price point more kind of acceptable for people that maybe don't want a V8 power car or don't need a V8 power car. What's interesting is that when it comes to convertible performance spec cars, there's not a lot to choose from. So what I want to find out is, does the EcoBoost convertible bring the value to where this is the way to go over, say, something like a Mazda Miata? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our drop top EcoBoost and find out. Right off the bat, the color. Ionic silver is one of my favorite colors on any Mustang, and it really shows the body lines nicely on the new Mustang shape. Now at the front of the business, of course, we're gonna get standard full LED lighting. So you're getting the triple LED headlights and our tri-bar lighting across the top. On the EcoBoost, you do get some flat black and you do get fake vents. So I do need to zonk these. It would have been nice maybe to give the EcoBoost some fog lamps. I think that would be an easy way to separate it in this area. Instead of putting these massive fake vents, just put a fog lamp on each side. And I think that that really would be a good separator. Plus fog lamps, I don't know, they kind of can really go in style with Mustangs. Now, as we come across the front, an easy way to find out right away that this is an EcoBoost is your flat black grille. So you're gonna get nice open air grille design. We do have that aluminum style Mustang badge. It's been there since 1964 and a half. And then on the bottom portion, you do have flat black as well, and it is functional. And they do a good job of making it look very aggressive on the lower end. Now, one thing to remember, even going back to 1964 and a half, there was always a value price Mustang. The first Mustangs that were value priced had a straight 6 naturally aspirated engine. So it's not like Mustangs have only been V8 only. Plus, when you think about how much horsepower this EcoBoost produces, it's actually more than the V8 powered Mustangs of the early days. So kind of crazy that in the 21st century, you could get a EcoBoost Mustang that has more power than a V8 did back in the past. Now, as we rise up on an EcoBoost, you just have a clean hood. No heat extractor, nice size bulge as it rises up out of nowhere and then goes towards the windshield. And then coming around the bend, not my favorite wheels, but remember, on Mustangs, there's many different wheel choices to go with. What you're gonna find on this one is your standard spoke setup with the machined aluminum and gloss black. It's an 18-inch wheel. And then of course they reworked the suspension, the brakes, the handling, not only on the bigger brother, the Mustang GT and the Dark Horse, but even on the EcoBoost as well. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of these tires? You're looking at 235 on the width, 50 series sidewall all the way around. Now, as we come down the side, you'll notice I have the top down. This really fits the Mustang shape. And it's interesting because convertibles, like I said, there used to be so many more around, and now we're talking about comparing this Mustang to a Miata. That is one of the very few convertible choices that you have at this particular price point. I do like the way you do get color matched on the mirror caps, LED turn signals, which are nice. And then you also get color matched door handles. And you're still gonna get the same side skirt as the Mustang GT. So you're gonna get that sporty look from the side. Of course, this is rear wheel drive, just like the Miata is, rear wheel drive. One of the things that kind of bothers me is this part here. I wish that there was a tonneau cover a body colored tonneau cover to make the cloth top disappear, because it's got a nice shape. I just think that this, I don't know, there's just something lost here in translation. I do love the two-tone interior, and Steven's gonna give you a bird's eye view of that two-tone interior before we hop in. As we come towards the rear, you got a nice color match trunk lid spoiler. Nice and clean. The one thing at the back that is a big no-no to me is this guy right here. Why do they have to have an old school antenna? You have this here, the puck. Why can't we take this and integrate it into here? Let me know how you feel about this thing at the back. Remember, the Miata also has an antenna at the back. Now, as we drop down, you got that beautiful, look at the way it's illuminated, the tri-bar taillights, they just turned off. And then you have your aluminum pony, style pony there, looking good. I love the classic Mustang badge. And then working our way down, you are gonna get a slash cut exhaust, functional on each side, and basically the same rear diffuser as the Mustang GT from the back. But we looked at the outside, we got sirens coming. Let's pop the hood and talk about horsepower on this Mustang EcoBoost. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do get hood struts even on the EcoBoost, and underneath the hood is the name of the vehicle. There is that EcoBoost engine. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a 2.3 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, now for 2024 producing 315 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. The bummer and the zonk is you only get one transmission, and one transmission only. It's a 10-speed automatic. No more 6-speed manual on this car. And when you look at the Miata, remember, Miata, you could still get a manual or you could get an automatic transmission. 0 to 60 though, 4.5 seconds, quarter mile, 13.5 at 99 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 3,812 pounds. MPGs, 21 in the city, 29 on the highway. Here's another fun fact for you. This 2.3 liter turbocharged engine has been in the Ford family for a very, very long time. Going back to the 1980s, mid-1980s, there was a Mustang SVO, Special Vehicle Operations, that had, the Fox body, had a 2.3 liter turbocharged engine. If you like Mazdas and you're a fan of the Mazda Speeds, the Mazda Speed 3s have the same engine, a 2.3 liter. And what's fascinating is that when Ford and Mazda separated, Ford kept the 2.3, and that's why on Mazdas today, they switched to a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine and not this 2.3. I guess for me, it would have been nice to see closer to what the Ford Focus RS had, which would be 350 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this thing up and hear if it makes any sound. All right, guys, we are inside this Mustang EcoBoost. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I do want a convertible. Back in college, I had a convertible. I used to pick up all the ladies. I'm married, so I can't go pick up all the ladies, but I would like to take my lady for a spin with the top down. I thought about Miata, but I kind of want a bigger vehicle. How much is this Mustang EcoBoost? Very good question. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is $46,000. Let's see what you get for the money. There might be some surprises. To the door panels. This one has the upgraded interior. I love the two-tone. That ceramic creamy white with the dark really pops nicely. Nice stitching, no gloss black. Door pocket is large enough to where you could easily get, I would say, 3 Einstein bagels with double schmear. Going from the door panel to the dash, same story. The stitching, the materials are great. You got the Mustang name, so much history wrapped into one name. And then you get technology. Nice large 13-inch infotainment system. You got your Sync 4 navigation system. And then of course, you could just hit that home button and then you're able to customize everything with your Mustang. Auxiliary gauges, you could change the colors of things. Look at this. Can't do that with your Miata. So kind of cool that you could really adjust it to your likings. The one thing I have to zonk is how the AC controls are built in. I don't like how you have to do this. I don't like that. You do get heated and ventilated seats. So we do have the upgraded heated and ventilated seats, but you have to slide the little slider, which makes greasy fingerprints. You do get 2 large AC vents, that bright red start stop button, easy access switch gear, a real volume knob, and then check this out, wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, 12 volt. Like I said, the only transmission available is a 10-speed automatic. And if you're complaining about that, where were you when they were selling these with a manual? They just didn't sell many. Electric e-brake, 2 cup holders, nice soft material with the stitching. Open this up, you do have a 12 volt, and you got enough room in there. I would say easily fit maybe 6 boxes of Reese's Pieces. So little snacks that E.T. used to eat back in the 80s, you can eat with the top down. And maybe you drive around with E.T. I actually saw a guy the other day riding a Harley Davidson with a stuffed animal E.T. on the back seat. Only in Florida. Seats. I love the two-tone, that creamy white with the black, nice soft bolstering. You do have electric assist on the bottom, manual adjustment for the back, which I have to give it half a zon because that doesn't make sense to me. And then you do have your convertible top. One of the things that I don't know why they do this at Ford is this. You got to turn this handle to release it when you want to put the top down or when you want to lock it in. I don't know. No other car do you have to do that besides the Miata, but the Miata has a nice kind of latch. This just seems dated. I feel like I'm back in 1985, which maybe necessarily isn't a bad thing to be back there. But anyways, why don't you come over to the business side? I want to show you the digital gauge cluster in this Mustang EcoBoost. All right, guys, business time. Because we have the extra nice interior, you do get 3 memory seat settings, and you do get the illuminated sill plate with that classic Mustang name. Pedal box, a lot of room, especially with people with big feet. And you know what they say, if you have big feet, you got big shoes. So aluminum brake, throttle, small little dead pedal. I wish they would do something with that. I keep zonking it, but nothing seems to change. I do like the way they have the lower lumbar, especially when you're driving around Clearwater Beach and you're chilling like a villain with the top down. And then of course, the room in here. You really have a lot of space. I promise you, you don't even need to sit in them. I promise you this Mustang has more interior room than the Miata. You got back seats for Pete's sakes. And then the steering wheel. Nice leather, all new, perforated, flat bottom. I love the way you got the flat black switch gear. You do have a tilting and telescoping steering wheel. It's all manual. And you do have a digital gauge cluster, which of course when you go into your different modes, can change up. Love the way they have the graphics there. Really cool. But other than that, and the fuel being low, let's go ahead, let me show you the trunk, because that's another area where I have a feeling possibly there's more room in a Mustang trunk than a Mazda Miata. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, trunk time. Obviously, this is going to be an area where the Mustang whoops up on the Mazda Miata. You are going to get 14 cubic feet of space. What's nice is that the rear seat folds down, and you'll notice that thump-a-thump-thump subwoofer that they have back here. Let's do the test, though. Let's see if there's a spare. Are you ready? 1, 2, woo! Look at that. You do get a spare, not a can of flat fix. You don't get a spare on the Mazda Miata. Just something to be aware of. But let's go ahead. Let's put the rubber to the road and go on throttle in this Mustang EcoBoost. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Mustang EcoBoost convertible. I wanted to start the review off with the top up. to give you an idea of what type of wind noise you're gonna expect, what type of road noise. And remember, that's part of the compromise, right? If you wanna have a convertible, you're gonna have less sound deadening up top, and more sound is gonna enter in the cabin. But the good news, it is not a ton. What I do like about the new Mustang is just the materials and the layout. I mean, everything in here is well laid out. I still like the fact that it feels like a Mustang and it drives like a Mustang, whether it has a V8 or whether it has the EcoBoost. I think one of the things that's a little nice touch when it comes to personalizing is you could change, like I pointed out, all the different ambient colors inside, the gauges, what type of gauges are displayed. You do have your different modes, which are nice. I'm gonna go ahead and put ours into sport. And then the fact that this one has the optional two-tone interior gives it a nice little extra touch. With the convertible top up, you got plenty of headroom, and the blind spots really aren't too bad as long as you properly turn your head and use your mirrors. Of course, once you put the top down, then you don't have to worry about that. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Drops down and we are off. Now, unlike the Mustang GT, on this stock exhaust EcoBoost, you are getting some sound pumped in. It's nothing too atrocious, but it's definitely being pumped in, and it does clean up the sound on the interior quite a bit. Do I love it? No. Do I hate it? I don't hate it. So it kind of gives a little bit extra oomph to the driving experience. What I do like though is visibility out over the hood. You got that traditional longer hood design of the Mustang, and really just the quality materials are really, the bar has been raised in here very, very nicely. Getting to the infotainment system is well within reach. And I love the way that they put the mode switch, the drive mode selector switch on the actual steering wheel, all operated by your thumb. So that's another nice touch. Guys, pulling away from the light, the way that they retuned the transmission really shows big time in this new Mustang EcoBoost. And also I like the sensitivity of the throttle, the steering. Everything has a nice balanced feel to it. But we're gonna get on the highway with the top up, give you a taste, and then I'm gonna put the top down and share that driving experience with you. But the good news is, with 315 horsepower, you could go on throttle and you could get up and go. Nice shifts from the 10-speed. And as you can see, I mean, the road noise and the wind noise is actually not too bad. So that's a good thing, because obviously not every day is gonna be a top-down kind of day, even in Florida. And you wanna kinda have an idea of what that experience is gonna be like when you're driving down the road with the top up. But very smooth going down the road. The chassis, they really did some nice tweaking to fine tune the rigidity and the amount of noise and vibration harshness that's entering the cabin. And I think that's compared to the previous generation, the S550, to this one, where you're gonna really see those differences and feel the differences. Let's see how she handles. We're going to this left-hand bend here on the brakes. Nice, look at that. It's very, very composed, very, very buttoned up, which I really, really like. And then, like I said, with the top up, you just gotta use your head, use your mirrors. On throttle, here we go. It does put a smile on your face. Even without the V8, it does put a smile on your face. But I'm gonna get the top down, and then we're gonna do some more on throttle. All right, guys, we got the top down. Nice sunny Florida day. And I put the side windows up to kind of just give a little bit more quieter experience in the cabin. And one thing that's really, really nice is that you're not getting a ton of wind buffeting, which is great. It goes cleanly over my head. and I could hold a conversation and not have to scream at the top of my lungs. One of the things that I think you're gonna like about the EcoBoost is that when it comes to handling, having less weight, even being a convertible, really shows in the left-right transitions. But we're at highway speed, and I'm getting a nice breeze on the interior, but it's not like buffeting, which is great. But this is what it's about, being in Florida and having the top down and having that fun driving experience. That's what's so great about this car, and I'm glad that they still make the convertible. It'll be interesting to see if they do any real performance Mustangs with the convertible top. We'll have to wait and see. But I hope that this has been a good overall review for you. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a Mustang minute. All right, guys, been another top-down kind of day, a topless kind of day. That sounds weird. Here at Walker Ford, definitely want to thank Frank Walker, Western Walker, Tracy, and Mark the Gooch for getting us access to this silver convertible Mustang EcoBoost. Let me know what you think. Are they bringing at Ford a good amount of value for what you're getting with the base 2.3-liter turbocharged engine? Or are you just gonna say the hell with it and go true sports car and get a convertible Miata? That's funny, Miata or Mustang? Which M sports car or performance type car would you spec? Let me know in that comment section, but if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta give it up to Stephen Flood Photography. He loves it when things are topless. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.